Hello, you got the Iceman. Interviews with the Iceman. Today I'm real excited to be speaking to my man, Brodie Stewart of the Brodie Stewart Band. How are you, brother? How are things going?
Hey, man. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are things on your end?
You know, crazy as usual, but it's good. It's a good crazy.
Yeah, you never complain about a good crazy. I'll tell you that. And, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to speak to us and the fans. And, I know there's a lot of big things happening we'll get into. But tell us a little, Brodie, about where you're from, where you're living now and kind of what you have going on musically at the present time.
You know, I live in Northern California in a little town called Walnut Creek, which is a little close to maybe a half hour to 45 minutes outside of San Francisco, and the same about an hour away from Sacramento. So I've been kind of based in the Bay Area and also Sacramento area. But most of my country roots are from the Red Bluff area, which is way up north. And people would say, Red Bluff, where's the country out in California? It's quite country, believe it or not.
Right.
So that's kind of where it all started for me. And, now I'm just literally just finished up my debut album. It's called Born American. And I started this album, started writing the writing process a few years back, and it's finally getting finished. And most recent, we're just playing a ton of shows and continuing forward and trying to break it in this, like we say, crazy business that we're in. But, we're having a good time and some things are starting to happen for us. So we're super excited. Right.
And it's funny, you being in Northern California. So wait a minute now, because, we're out of Nashville and New England. So I have the one up on you in football, but I guess in baseball, you guys in Frisco kind of have a one up on us here in New England, right?
Yeah, but we still have 5, man.
Yeah, there you go. I knew that was coming. Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Hold on. That low blow, I got to recuperate from that. Yeah, but about the new CD, the new album that's coming out, Born American, why don't you tell us a little about, some of the people that were part of that, who you teamed up with? I know there was some pretty impressive names you have.
Yeah. It was such a great story. A friend of mine owns a guitar shop down in Nashville called Rock Block Guitars, and I've known him for some time, and his name's Drexel Sloan, and he kept telling me, "Hey, you got to meet my buddy Adam." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, man, let's talk for sure." And lo and behold, Adam Schoenfeld is his name, and we ended up getting on the phone finally after a long time, and we just hit it off immediately on the phone. And Adam he started in a band called Big and Rich, which I'm sure everybody's heard of before. And he was playing guitar with them, and then most recent, he's playing lead guitar for Tim McGraw. And he's been a guitar player that's been playing in Nashville for years, and he's just an amazing player and producer. And so we just teamed up and decided we hit it off and decided to make this album together. And he brought in an all-star, cast of players to do this album with us. And it was just an amazing experience, man. I mean, if you've ever had a chance to sit in a studio and work with some of the best musicians in the world, it's something you'll never forget. I mean, just how well they play, how quick they are, and just how nice everybody is as well. I mean, it's just an awesome experience, and that's how it all started. And then he's been playing on every, Jason Aldean #1 to Luke Bryan to Florida Georgia Line, you name it. He's just one of those guys, and I was fortunate enough and lucky enough to work with him, and here it is. So we're just kind of starting to get this music out to the people.
Wow, that's amazing. Just to be involved with people like that, have them involved in your album, and I can't wait. we got a couple of songs from it today. Actually, at the end of the interview, we're going to world premiere one of your songs. But, I'm looking forward to hearing the music on the whole CD, and I know the fans are. I'll tell you what, let's go into one of the songs, and before I play, you can maybe tell us a little about it. The first song I'm going to play is Fine Looking Country Girl. Now, I'm always in for one of those. But why don't you tell us a little about the song and, if you wrote it and just a little about it?
It was almost one of those things where I wanted a country version of Pour Some Sugar on Me by a band called Def Leppard that I've heard, we've all probably heard many times. And
right.
It was kind of an influence, I guess, when I'd hear a song like that. And I go, you know what? I just want a good feeling, mid-tempo, song that just hits home. That's kind of an anthem. And I think, that's where it started. And the song is about, it's about any girl, woman that listens to country music. You're a fine looking country girl to me. And that's kind of where the song started. And, I'm super excited about this song. I always have been. And it's been out a little while. That's the only song that's the very first song I wrote, honestly, for this album. So
right.
Here it is, man.
Well, yeah.
Enjoy it.
Hey, and it's been in the rotation for a while with us. So here it is, man. That's that anthem song. This is Brodie Stewart, Fine Looking Country Girl. You got interviews with the Iceman.
Yeah, that's right. There ain't nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. Hotter than a dollar, grown men holler. Dudes lining up saying, oh yeah. From her boots to her collar, legs are getting taller. Dancing on the bar saying, oh yeah. Oh, the way she moves makes it smooth when it's going down. So pour me one now. Oh, get your hands up, we gotta shout it out. Raise your glass up, we gotta make it loud. Now bottoms up, let the cowboys scream. There's nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. Hey. Hey. There's nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. She's a hot-looking lady, making us crazy. The club's kicking hard, oh yeah. Her body's moving busy, making us dizzy. So do another round for us, oh yeah. No, the way she moves makes it smooth when it's going down. So pour me one now. Get your hands up, we gotta shout it out. Raise your glass up, we gotta make it loud. Now bottoms up, let the cowboys scream. Nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. Her body's moving, fine-looking country girl. You look so fine, it's just so wrong. Come nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. All the fine-looking country girls, get your hands up, we gotta shout it out. Raise your glass up, we gotta make it loud. Now bottoms up, let the cowboys scream. There's nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. Hands up, we gotta shout it out. Raise your glass up, we gotta make it loud. Now bottoms up, let the cowboys scream. There's nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl. Hey, get your hands up, all the fine-looking country girls. Hey, raise your glass up, all the fine-looking country girls. Hey, now bottoms up to the fine-looking country girls. Ain't nothing sweeter than a fine-looking country girl.
Fine-looking country girl. I'm talking today to my man Brodie Stewart. Hey, Brodie, tell the Iceman this. Who are your musical influences? You told us a lot about who you're playing with and a little about the inspiration for the song we just played, but who do you look up to not only now, but when you started out in music?
there's so many from so many different genres of music, because just young growing up and having my mom play me so much music as a kid, and growing up and listening and being influenced by different things. I mean, I got to say, it goes all the way from Leonard Skinner, of course, one of my favorite bands growing up, and then, of course, all the way to left of a guy like Lionel Richie,
Right.
huge influence because of him as a songwriter. And then, there was a lot of Al Dean in influence, but not trying to be Al Dean. Your Brantley Gilberts, your Keith Urbans. But believe it or not, I love a guy like Paul Rogers of Bad Company. So there's been so many producers and writers, and because I'm a writer as well, I've written pretty much on every song on the entire album and co-written and written them. So that would be it. It's really hard to put it in a nutshell, but I mean, influential. I mean, my influences have been very wide. I hope I put enough names in there, but I could probably keep going till tomorrow
Right.
on the names.
Right.
But, and a lot of gospel influence from being in church and stuff. Absolutely that too.
Right.
But most recent, I'd say those three for the most part. There's just so many, to be honest, man.
Right, and you said you wrote most of the songs on your current album. Who else have you written for anybody else? Not only in country, but in any other genres? Have you done music for them?
Yeah, I was. That's a crazy story. My manager at some point was just sending some songs around, and I wrote this song years back, and it was a song called Sweet Isabel. And if I ever had a daughter one day, I wanted to, it was kind of my song to her. It was a song about life, and lo and behold, he was kind of playing it for some folks, and it perked some ears up, and it ended up being cut by all people by a guy by the name of Enrique Iglesias.
Wow.
And it was an awesome situation for me as a songwriter, but it was odd because it was a song that I loved so much, and I wanted to be able to sing and perform it myself. And it was slated to be the first single off his last album at the time, and it ended up being on his Insomniac album. And the experience alone, it gave me a publishing deal that I signed with Warner Music and Warner Chappell, and it was a great experience for me because I got to write with a ton of writers, and I had cuts on different albums getting ready to come out. And, it really made me chomp on the music business, though, to realize how much you can love it and how much it can be real painful,
Right.
And I think that's what I'm glad that I can have these interviews sometimes, because you got to really love this if this is what you want to do, because it's a tough business.
Right.
And, it's cutthroat, it's brutal, but the love of it is what keeps me going. And that experience alone was a great one for me, and being able to write with so many cats, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. But I love performing so much. I had to get away from that for a minute and then come back, and that's when I started writing this album.
Right.
So
You're absolutely
that's where
right
that
about the whole toughness of the business. I mean, people see a performer, even radio, what I got going on, and we have a lot of fun, and it's a passion, and we love to do it, but you pay a price. I mean, it's not easy, and
no, it's not easy at all. I mean, if I can, you hear it so many times and how cliche it is, but if this is truly what you want to do, you have to live and breathe it every
Right.
moment of every day. I mean,
Right.
It's really, truly what it is. It's not just writing. It's not just playing shows. It's everything. And the way the music business has changed so much to your social medias and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything is important, and it's not just about, necessarily chasing the record deal. There's so many avenues that you can do, but you have to be passionate and work your tail off at every situation, every time. And if you love it that much, just never give up. Just keep going and keep striding. That's all I can really, put it. And I got to tell myself that looking in the mirror every day sometimes.
Right.
To be honest, it's hard.
Exactly.
It's tough.
It's funny because I normally ask, and you answered it, I normally ask the artists that come on because I have so many new artists listening in, because that's what we do, about advice for peers and just, but you kind of took that and ran with it and already told the other artist that might be listening in, what they need to do or kind of what your formula is. I want to talk a little about the writing that you do. Tell me, is there a mindset that you're in? I know a lot of writers, some writers have to be in a room and just closed in by themselves. Other writers could be driving down the road and all of a sudden they're pulling over because something pops in their head. Is there a style, or how do you determine a song? Do you close yourself in, or it could be anywhere?
It can be anywhere for me. Personally, I think everybody's different. There's people that want to jump in a room with others, and I do enjoy co-writing. I typically really try to start a song and then maybe get with somebody else and finish the song. There's some that I've obviously written all the way through myself. It's a good perspective, but for example, a song which is one of my favorite songs called "Gotta Be a Country Song." I was literally in Lake Tahoe having, if not the greatest, one of the greatest days of my life. And when I was watching the sun go down on the lake, and my buddy was sitting up on top we were standing on top of a balcony outside just watching the ravine of the lake, and he looks over at me, man, we're drinking this is a true story, drink a couple beers in hand, looks over at me, man, he's all, "You know what, bro, there's got to be a country song in a sunset like this." And I just went, "Oh." And I looked at him and I said, "Hey, man, you just gave me another song." And truly, I started writing the chorus right there, just kind of joking around, singing the chorus. And from there, wrote that entire song about that day and what it meant to me, and described the whole day. So it's all different. You're absolutely right. You could be driving down the road. You could literally be sitting at, whether it's a coffee shop or whatever, or just, your mindset being somewhere. And then, yes, it's focused. It's pretty much, okay, let me sit down and grind this out and go from there. So that's how it is for me and has been for me.
Right. Well, why don't we play that right now? This is Gotta Be a Country Song. Brodie Stewart, interviews with the Iceman.
Rum runners and player stacks, yeah, the party's going on, and lips are burning from kissing all day long. And man, what a good day when we all get along, when we're lakeside splashing, everybody's laughing, washing any worry away. And all the kids kicking sand up, on ladies getting tanned up. The fellas pray the view don't change. And it's days like this we never want to end. Yeah. There's gotta be a country song. There's gotta be a country song. Yeah, there's gotta be a country song. No, for a sunset. A sunset like this. Oh yeah, for a sunset like this. Oh yeah, yeah. Stop time from ticking. I don't wanna go back to everyday living. No, I don't want to do that, because we're all just sleeping, working on sleeping into these chairs, kicking back until the band will keep playing. This is where we're staying. We'll sing it till the night is day. It's days like this we never want to end. Yeah. No, there's gotta be a country song. There's gotta be a country song. Yeah, there's gotta be a country song. Go for a sunset like this. There's gotta be a country song. Yeah, there's gotta be a country song. No, for a sunset like this. There's gotta be a country song. There's gotta be a country song. Yeah, there's gotta be a country song. No, for a sunset no, for a country song like this. There's gotta be a country song like this. Oh, yeah, there's gotta be a country song for a sunset like this.
That was Gotta Be a Country Song, interviews with the Iceman. Real special to hear that song after hearing how it was written in the moment. And, that's a great song, brother. I once again, I appreciate you spending some time with us today to just talk a little about what you have going on. I want to ask you some of the acts that you might have opened up for. I know there was several impressive ones. Who have you opened up for recently?
Oh man, it's been crazy. I mean, I've been really got lucky. I've had WME has been booking a lot of shows for me and been on board and helping me out, and I've just been really lucky, man. But I've been on stage, gosh, the last few years with anywhere from Lee Bryce to Thompson Square, Easton Corbin, Joe Nichols, Chris Cagle. Gosh, I'm trying to think. So many. The Farm, Leonard Skinner, Lady Antebellum, Dustin Lynch. I mean, it goes on and on. I'm trying to think of all on the top of my head. So many shows we've been playing. Brett Eldridge, and open up for Big and Rich as well.
Right.
It's amazing. I mean, we've been really lucky and fortunate, and I'm super just, and been blessed, and I just feel like I'm hoping this is it, I mean, I've put my heart and soul into this album, and hopefully the public decides or gets a chance to decide at some point whether it's good or not. And that's all I'm looking at. For me, I made the record that I loved, and that's what it's all about.
Right.
Is making something you love, and hopefully people can connect to it, man. So that's been that.
Right. I think when you do that, when you make something that you believe in and you love, that automatically, the audience and the listeners actually can feel that. And I think that, you're right, that's what makes a great album or great CD, when you're doing something you love, that you wrote yourself, that you got these amazing artists in the studio with you, and when that comes off and you do that, I mean, the listeners can feel that. So like I said, I've had the pleasure, thanks to you and management, to hear what you have coming out, man, and I'm a big believer, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Hey, thank you very much, and I really appreciate you taking the time, man. I just wanted to share that with you, and
thank you,
and what you're doing for so many up and coming artists. I mean, it's going back to not beating a dead horse, as tough as it is in this business, to give people an opportunity to be heard and do what they do. We can't thank you, a guy like you, enough, man. And it's very much appreciated, and more than you know. And man, I bet it fills your heart up too, man. That's what it's all about. At least I feel like it does. What I mean? It makes you happy.
It does, man.
What it's all about, man. I just want to say thank you so much for doing that for guys like us.
Thank you. I mean, it really does, because it takes something I wanted to do my whole life and make it become a dream. But the important thing is I'm able to do what I do to help people like yourself get to where you want to go, and that's a good feeling. And I always tell artists, I do what I do because you do what you do. Maybe right. I can patent that saying sometime, who knows. But let me ask you just a little back about when you first started this, a little about the path of the road. I mean, have you played shows only on the West Coast? I mean, when you were starting out in this industry and country, I mean, what was some of the paths that you've taken to get where you are today and to get where you want to be tomorrow?
The path started mainly with the writing, getting getting this writing done for this album, and then started to book local shows. That's what we did. We found a lane to be able to book some local shows, and then it just started to grow. We got a couple of good plays and opening up for some bigger artists, and then we pounded it. I mean, we've been playing out for, gosh, I've been out for the last good 4 years solid, just busting it. And that's a huge part of it, is getting out and playing as many live shows as you can and getting your music out. We've had to do a lot of the covers mixed in, but luckily we get to mix in our originals and there, so we can get people, not only to make them happy because they hear music they're familiar with, and then, slide some of our songs into the sets. And that's kind of what's helped us get a lot of shows as well.
Right.
And, yeah, it's mainly been on the West Coast, up and down from up in Oregon, down there, down to Arizona. And we're really trying to spread our wings a little bit more to some other places this year. And, as far as getting that path was also just hooking up with some good people in the business and taking some meetings and doing that kind of thing. And
Right.
That's what we're still doing. I mean, it's still a process. I mean, that's the thing. It never stops. I mean, we're not necessarily chasing the record deal, which I call it. It's like if that's meant to come, that's what's meant to be. And because it's really hard to get a record deal these days. It's
Right.
very, very difficult. I mean, you've got to build it for them to kind of almost start seeing you, and they'll come around. And you've noticed all these artists out of nowhere, boom,
Right.
you think, hey, oh my gosh, they just broke. No, did you realize we've been humping it for 10 years?
Right. Right.
So you hear those stories all the time. It's, it's one of those things. So that's really where that started. And now that's where we're continuing to grow and wanting to grow is not only, playing the shows and spreading our wings out that way, and also just really getting our songs and videos and stuff out on the internet, and really pushing our social media stuff. And that's a whole nother beast.
Right.
So,
now
we're working that hard as well. So
Okay.
That's kind of where it is now.
Good. Now, where can your fans find you? Social media and find your music. Let them know where they can find you so they can look you up.
You can find my music at BrodieStewartBand.com. That's BrodieStewart band.com. That's my website. The CD is not for sale yet. It will be very soon. You can grab Fine Looking Country Girl on iTunes, and my next single is going to be a song called Mississippi Mud, which you'll be able to find on iTunes very, very soon. We'll have the lyric video coming up. I'm hoping it's going to be there and ready for you to listen to on YouTube and check out on Monday. And I'll have some more announcements as well. Some really good shows coming up for us this year. I'm super excited, man, and that's it.
Good. Well, I'll tell you. Speaking of Mississippi Mud, let's do something special. We're gonna world premiere it right in this interview. I know we spoke briefly in the past, over the past month or so, and we've been wanting to make this happen, and now it is time. So, you know what? Why don't we do that and tell us a little about the song itself? Then we're going to go right in and world premiere it for everybody.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Man, this song was written about a girl that literally loves to go country dancing. She does a little partying now and then, but she's a good girl. And she just has a passion, and her blood pumps for country music, and that's really what it was for me when I wrote it. Just that concept. It came into my head, like watching so many people go to these clubs and love dancing and listening to country music and partying and holding their holding their glasses high. Man, that's what this song was about, and that's what drove me to write it.
Well, I got to tell you something. As we're in the studio, and as it's happening, my cleaning guy Fazo, if you're familiar with him, he's on the other side listening, and he just holds up a piece of paper and he goes, "Iceman, can you tell Brodie to give me that girl's phone number?" I don't even know. Come on, guy, Yeah, listen, if there's a girl that's
awesome,
out there
man.
like that, I'm going to want her phone number, Fazo.
Oh, that's so good. You know what her number is?
Go ahead.
867-5309.
And he's writing it down. He's writing it down. What? What do you mean you need the area code? Brodie, man, I tell you, I want to thank you. We're gonna world premiere this in a second. I want to thank you for taking the time and talking to us, man. And I look forward to playing your music. And I look forward, and I know you got a big future ahead of you, buddy. And once again, thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it and everything you're doing once again. And if I can say anything one more time, man, live your dream. That's it. Live your dream.
Thank you. Well, here it is, the world premiere of Brodie Stewart Band. This is Mississippi Mud. You're hearing it here first with the Iceman. Be sure to watch this song coming out in the future. You'll be able to pick it up on the new CD. The video's coming out. But it's Mississippi Mud, Brodie Stewart. Thanks, brother. You have a great day.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
She's a Mississippi queen, skin-tight jeans. Ain't afraid of shooting whiskey made in Tennessee. Loves her Hank Jr. and her J. Aldean. She's a hick town, hot of country music fame. She's a party every Thursday through Saturday night, and throwing them back like a dude sometimes. It's crazy to see from a girl that fine, but it's looking alright to me. So throw your hands up and wave them side to side. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody, let's go. Let me see you dance some more. Do the two-step booty shake across the floor. Come on, mama, go and give me some more. Gonna stick on you like a Mississippi mud. Well, she was born and raised with music as her love. All country music pumping through her blood. She took it to the floor across the county lines. Boot-stopping gypsy woman living the life. From Georgia to Texas, all the way to New Orleans. Everybody, let's go. Let me see you dance some more. Do the two-step booty shake across the floor. Come on, mama, go and give me some more. Gonna stick on you like a Mississippi mud. Let's go. Get down some more. Gonna party all night till they lock them doors. So go on, mama, come and show me the love. With a girl like you, I could never get enough. Don't stick on you. Now Mississippi mud. Oh yeah, guitar. Let's go. Let me see you dance some more. Do the two-step booty shake across the floor. Let's go. Let me see you dance some more. Do the two-step